And on North Korea, very quickly. The foreign minister said you have declared, effectively, war on North Korea, and the North Korean government has threatened to shoot down or aim at American planes flying in international airspace. I'd like your reaction.
Okay, well, I'll answer the second one first. We are totally prepared for the second option, not a preferred option. But if we take that option, it will be devastating, I can tell you that, devastating for North Korea. That's called the military option. If we have to take it, we will. He's acting very badly. He's saying things that should never, ever be said. And we're replying to those things, but it's a reply. It's not an original statement, it's a reply. But the things that he said over the last year, and if you look back, the things that he said to past administrations, North Korea is a situation that should have been handled 25 years ago, 20 years ago, 15 years ago, 10 years ago, and 5 years ago, and it could have been handled much more easily. You had various administrations, many administrations, which left me a mess. But I'll fix the mess. So we'll see what happens with North Korea.
President Donald Trump has warned North Korea that any U.S. military option would be devastating for Pyongyang, but said the use of force was not Washington's first option to deal with the North's ballistic and nuclear weapons program. We are totally prepared for the second option, not a preferred option, Trump said at a White House news conference on Tuesday, referring to military force. But if we take that option, it will be devastating, I can tell you that, devastating for North Korea. That's called the military option. If we have to take it, we will. Bellicose statements by Trump and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un in recent weeks have created fears that a miscalculation could lead to action with untold ramifications, particularly since Pyongyang conducted its sixth and most powerful nuclear test on September 3. Despite the escalation in tensions, the United States has not detected any change in North Korea's military posture reflecting an increased threat, the top U.S. military officer said on Tuesday. The assessment by Marine Corps General Joseph Dunford, chairman of the U.S. Joint Chiefs of Staff, about Pyongyang's military stance was in contrast to a South Korean lawmaker who said Pyongyang had boosted defenses on its east coast. While the political space is clearly very charged right now, we haven't seen a change in the posture of North Korean forces, and we watch that very closely, Dunford told the Senate Armed Services Committee hearing on his reappointment to his post. In terms of a sense of urgency, North Korea certainly poses the greatest threat today, Dunford testified. North Korean Foreign Minister Ri Yong-ho on Monday accused Trump of declaring war on the North and threatened that Pyongyang would shoot down U.S. warplanes flying near the peninsula after American bombers flew close to the Korean peninsula last weekend. Ri was reacting to Trump's Twitter comments that Kim and Ri won't be around much longer if they acted on their threats toward the U.S. North Korea has been working to develop nuclear-tipped missiles capable of hitting the U.S. mainland, which Trump has said he will never allow. Dunford said Pyongyang will have a nuclear-capable intercontinental ballistic missile soon, and it was only a matter of a very short time. We clearly have postured our forces to respond in the event of a provocation or a conflict, the general said, adding that the United States has taken all proper measures to protect our allies including South Korea and Japan. It would be an incredibly provocative thing for them to conduct a nuclear test in the Pacific as they have suggested, and I think the North Korean people would have to realize how serious that would be, not only for the United States but for the international community, Dunford said. South Korean lawmaker Lee Kyol-woo, briefed by the country's spy agency, said North Korea was bolstering its defenses by moving aircraft to its east coast and taking other measures after the flight of the U.S. bombers. Lee said the United States appeared to have disclosed the flight route of the bombers intentionally because North Korea seemed to be unaware. The U.S. has imposed sanctions on 26 individuals as part of its non-proliferation designations for North Korea as well as 9 banks, including some with ties to China, according to the U.S. Treasury Department's Office of Foreign Assets Control sanctions. The U.S. sanctions target individuals in North Korea as well as some North Korean nationals in China, Russia, Libya, and Dubai. Capability to deter. During a visit to India, U.S. Defense Secretary Jim Mattis said diplomatic efforts continued. "You have seen unanimous United Nations Security Council resolutions passed that have increased the pressure, economic pressure and diplomatic pressure, on the North, and at the same time, we maintain the capability to deter North Korea's most dangerous threats," he told reporters in the Indian capital. Speaking in Beijing, Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesman Lu Kang said war on the Korean peninsula would have no winner. "We hope the U.S. and North Korean politicians have sufficient political judgment to realize that resorting to military force will never be a viable way to resolve the peninsula issue and their own concerns," Lu said. "War on the peninsula will have no winner." South Korean President Moon Jae-in urged Kim Jong-un to resume military talks and reunions of families split by the 1950-53 Korean War to ease tension. "Like I've said multiple times before, if North Korea stops its reckless choices, the table for talks and negotiations always remains open," Moon said. In Moscow, Russia's foreign ministry said it was working behind the scenes to find a political solution and that it plans to hold talks with the representative of North Korea's foreign ministry who is due to arrive in Moscow on Tuesday, the RIA News agency cited the North's embassy to Russia as saying. U.S. Air Force B-1B Lancer bombers, escorted by fighter jets, flew east of North Korea in a show of force after the heated exchange of rhetoric between Trump and Kim. The United States and South Korea are technically still at war with North Korea after the 1950-53 conflict ended in a truce and not a peace treaty.